It's okay to not be okay. A Netflix original K-drama that has succeeded to get the hype from people all around the world of all ages. With its amazing and intense plots, very talented actors, very professional crew, and I must say stunning visuals. This show got people talking. A show surrounding three main characters as they set out on their journey to find well-needed emotional healing, and all the troubles and plot twists surrounding this. If you love this show, if you want to know why people love this show, or if you're just looking for an entertaining review on this show, definitely keep watching. Hey guys, it is Ironies Green. Welcome back to my channel, and just like the title indicates, you already know what is going on. This is the second time I'm coming to sit down and talk to you guys about a series I just watched, so you know it's real. But in today's video we're gonna have a little twist. I'm going to be doing my makeup while I talk because before we start, I just want to let you guys know that I upload every Sunday and Thursdays 4 p.m. West African time. So if you like that consistent content, definitely subscribe. It's Okay to Not Be Okay is a K-drama series directed by Park Shin-woo, and the original title directly translated from Hangul is Psycho But It's Okay. So it started airing June 20th this year, 2020, and I would say from the very moment it started airing, people were heads over heels for it. I think the first thing that will attract someone is the visuals. The main characters are really stunning, but the show itself just ended last Sunday, and the whole show was focused around three main characters, which is Ko Moon-young, Moon Sang-tae, and Moon Gang-tae. Ko Moon-young is a student storybook writer that has a very antisocial personality disorder. Moon Gang-tae works as a psychiatrist and he never learned how to live life for himself. Moon Sang-tae, on the other hand, is his elder brother that has autism. Now, throughout the whole drama, we were blessed to see the character development of all characters, including the side characters. A few of the side characters are... After watching the drama, I think it's safe to say that the approach the director was going with was to really portray how these three main characters were able to develop over time and find emotional healing from all their childhood trauma. If we really go into how they were brought up as children and how their lives are intertwined with each other, there's just a whole lot to unbox. Now, Ko Moon-young was unfortunately born to a mother that did not value her as a human being and more like a work of hers. The mother was a workaholic. She had no grasp on what feelings are, and she tried her best to reflect these characteristics on her child. Ko Moon-young had no friends growing up, and she grew up in a castle on the hill to very rich parents but very emotionally unavailable parents too. So I would say that's what led to her antisocial personality disorder. Then for the next character, Moon Sang-tae. Moon Sang-tae is the older brother of Moon Gang-tae, and they grew up three in the house, the mother and the two children. Moon Sang-tae has autism and he definitely needs extra care, which now led to it being like the reason for Moon Gang-tae's birth is just to take care of his older brother, and Moon Gang-tae never learned how to live for himself. When they were still very young, unfortunately their mother had passed away, which left Moon Sang-tae with PTSD because he had unfortunately witnessed the death of his mother. Because Moon Gang-tae was so used to always taking care of his brother, I think he chose to work in a psychiatric ward because that's really what he's used to, taking care of people, and that's all he has ever known. In the first few episodes of the movie, there's not a lot you could understand because they are just setting the foundation for what they're going to unlock in the later episodes. Once you watch it, you'll find out that everything connects to each other. Now, for most of the movie, Moon Gang-tae ended up working in a psychiatric hospital called OK Psychiatric Hospital. This is where a few of the important supporting characters are. Side note, I think one of the things that really drew me to this movie was the fact that they are in a psychiatric hospital and they gave light to different mental issues, which I'm gonna talk about in this video. So one of the supporting characters I would like to talk about is his best friend of 10 years, Jae-soo. Jae-soo is, I would say, what we all look for in a friend and what we all should be as a friend.
Period.
He stayed by Mungante for 10 years, understanding everything him and his brothers went through, supporting him and understanding him all the way. Mungante also has a really huge problem in expressing his emotions, so I definitely think a friend like that was the perfect friend for him. Jesu didn't really have a lot of character development because, let's be honest, he was perfect from the start. One of the first things I noticed that I don't really see in movies, especially K-series, is the fact that the female lead was the one to pursue the male lead. Like, where do you see that being done?
사랑해. 사랑해 강태씨. 사랑한다니까? 내가 사랑한다는데 왜 도망쳐? 왜? 사랑해! 야!
I hardly see it being done, and it was kind of like a breath of fresh air, and it was also very comical. Just watching Ko Myung always shamelessly pursuing Mungante. Like, girl, I think I want to go for a green look. This show wasn't difficult at all to watch and understand. It's one of those shows that even though you may not personally relate to anything, you'll still be able to apply it into real life situations and be like, man, I get. Coupling with the production quality, the visuals, and the talents these actors and actresses have, it was so entertaining to watch. One of the things that we definitely need to applaud about the show is the fact that they were definitely on point when they express different mental issues like autism, DID, antisocial personality disorder, depression, and addiction. There was also a little moment where they portrayed bulimia. This was perfectly displayed in the hospital patients. In It's Okay to Not Be Okay, there was not a lot of plot twists, but the fact that there was a whole lot of things to unravel at the end really made up for the fact that there were not a lot of plot twists. I think there was only one major plot twist, and I won't say what it is because no spoilers. When watching the show, we definitely learned to love all the characters, even the main villain. And although of course we know that the writer had a huge role to play in how the plot turns out, I think that the actors that they chose for particular characters really did well in portraying that character. Ko Myung is a children's book writer, and she normally writes really dark and deep children's book, but still does have a lot of lesson in them. One of my favorite would definitely be the whimpering dog and the child with the big mouth. Is it the monkfish? If you watch it, you know what I'm talking about. Each episode of the series is always dedicated to a story. So while Ko Myung is a writer, Moon Sang-tae is an artist, and he later becomes an illustrator for a book Ko Myung writes, which is definitely one of the most emotional character developments, because if you compare it to real life, people just like to assume that people with autism cannot do things the same way a normal human being can do it, but Moon Sang-tae really proved them wrong. I think that really shows people that we should not underestimate autistic people. Something I would say was one of the best things about the series would definitely be the way the characters were able to develop over time. Another really precious moment I just want to highlight, and I don't know if this is a spoiler, but when they introduced the DID patient, they first introduced her when she made an appearance in front of Mungante, and Mungante did not know beforehand that this was a DID patient, but he handled the situation perfectly. If you see someone acting a little bit different from what you are used to, you shouldn't treat them differently, which was something Ko Myung did not understand. Some ironies in the show that I would definitely like to talk about is one, the fact that Ko Myung is a very emotionless, antisocial person, but she's a very popular children's book writer. Another irony I would like to note is that Mungante is a nurse and he's used to taking care of people, but he can't even take care of himself. My guy. I think that just kind of shows that you can be very successful in an occupation, but your occupation may be totally different from who you are as a person. By the way, side note, at this point, please just ignore my makeup. I don't know what I'm doing, you don't know what I'm doing, we don't know what we're doing, we're just here to talk about the show. Another thing you are definitely going to love is Ko Myung's killer style. She was serving, and those are just one of the few things we learn to love while watching the show. There's also a lot of things to learn, and in order not to give you spoilers, I'm really not going to go into depth on those, but you know we all love a show with a very amazing plot, very talented actors, and you could also learn from the show. Let's bake before we start to cake. Now, I've appreciated a little bit of like the styling and the wardrobe, but man, the production quality is out of this world. Every single scene, you can just close your eyes, pause, and every single scene you see is a masterpiece. Period. What is there to not like? So I did the rest of my makeup off camera. I put some freckles. So since we're done talking about all the good, let's talk about a few things that I personally did not really like with the movie. One, it did not have a lot of plot twists, and I feel like the movie would have done better with more plot twists, although the lack of plot twists did not leave a void in the movie, because the first few episodes had a lot of things to unbox in the last few episodes, so there was no empty spaces. Another thing that didn't really sit right with me was the fact that the main villain did not really have any depth to her story. I mean, she kind of did, but then again, her story was Ko Mun-young's story, so she didn't really have a story on her own. In the last 2 episodes, I just felt like her character became bland, but that definitely did not make me regret watching the show. And lastly, I wouldn't say this last one did not sit well with me, no, but I would say that I'm very sensitive to cringe, and there was a lot of cringe worthy scenes in this movie. But then what's the point of watching a movie if you're just going to sit down comfortably in your seats? The movie has to give you different feelings, and for sure It's Okay to Not Be Okay definitely gave me different feelings. Yeah, honestly, do I really know the whole summary of my video? No, I just really wanted to come out here and talk about the thing that struck me the most in the movie, which was how they really spoke about different mental issues. As you know, in this generation, we don't really take mental issues seriously, so I definitely think that we need some of that. That is it for this video. As you can see here, I have butterfly accessories because in the show, butterfly is a huge symbol. Thank you guys for watching to the end of this video. I hope you really enjoyed that. If you enjoyed this video at any point, be sure to hit that thumbs up and definitely subscribe for more. And if you have some more time to spare, definitely check out my other videos. I have a lot of interesting content, you know. Bye.